Yes, you heard that correctly. I just built a funnel that generated over $30,000 for a swimming instructor in just 24 hours. Now you might be wondering, like, Jan, how is this even possible for a swimming instructor? The truth is, most people overcomplicate their tech and undercomplicate their strategy. And today I'm going to be breaking down the exact 3-step process that I used to pull this off, including the FMF framework that I learned from Hormozi himself. So by the end of this video, you will have the exact blueprint to duplicate these results for your own business. So let's dive in. What we used is something called the VSL funnel. It's something that contains something called the VSL, right? Video sales letter, you can see it here, right? And why we used the VSL funnel for this women instructor is because he has a huge following. He has like 3 million subscribers across all the platforms. So video is truly the king when it comes to this, because most people trust other people, not words on the screen. Video always scales one-on-one, okay? That is very important, and it feels personal to the prospect. So instead of having 500 conversations, he has one that he just replays 500 times, you know? And that is why VSL is the king, okay? And if you have a warm audience and you want to monetize them really well or sell them on some stuff, VSL really works because it's very natural. It shouldn't be too much edited. It shouldn't be basically like overly like texty and subtitly and stuff like that. It should be just natural video, you talking to the camera saying, hey, this is me, this is what I'm doing. You know that this is a sales funnel, obviously, right? Here are my results, and if you want to work with me, just press the button below this funnel, right? Or below this video. And that's it, literally. So this is why we used VSL, okay? First of all, it has increased perceived likelihood of achievement. So that's the one-on-one feeling that I was talking about, right? So think of this as certainty, right? People, when they feel the one-on-one feeling and they're your loyal follower, for example, it increases the perceived likelihood of achievement very much so. And this person is helping other swimming instructors to basically build their own brand, to basically scale and stuff like that, right? So the perceived likelihood of achievement is very high when it comes to video sales letters, but it needs to be done well, obviously, right? And then another very important thing is the singular CTA, okay? Because if you don't have singular CTA, you're creating something called decision fatigue, okay? And most of the people think that, okay, so I'm gonna create this funnel and I'm gonna try to make this VSL and I'm gonna try to, I don't know, pitch like my ebook as well as my high ticket stuff. Well, that's not gonna work, okay? You need to pitch only one thing, okay? And you need to have one button, one CTA, okay, when it comes to selling your main stuff. So in his case, it was buying tickets for his retreat because we were selling his retreat. And if you're asking in which softwares or which tech I basically used, we used Framer and we used Stripe. If you don't know these two, you probably know Stripe. You probably don't know Framer. Okay, Framer is basically, I'm not affiliated by any sense, but they are just very good when it comes to creating funnels and websites very fast and publishing them very fast for cheap money, okay? So you don't need any click funnels, you don't need any like go high level if you know what you're doing, okay? I'm gonna show you what you need to do in order to basically use only Framer and save a lot of money. So now let's take a look at this big octopus thing that I just created here, right? And that's the funnel conversion formula. Now it's not 85, now it's 90 plus actually. So I basically assembled this formula after 90 plus projects when it comes to coaches, instructors, and consultants and people in this like area of business, we could say, where they basically usually sell education. I created funnel conversion formula and it works, okay? Most of the people think that they need to have like super flashy funnel. No, like look at this funnel, okay? It doesn't look that well, you know, but it works. That's very important, okay? Because conversion doesn't always need to be looking super nice, if you know what I mean. Okay, so the funnel conversion formula. First and foremost, it has 6 steps, okay? Now, completely ignore the other steps right now. Let's just focus on the first one, okay? So first step is one purpose or the North Star of your funnel, okay? And this is crucial because if people are trying to basically, I don't know, pitch multiple stuff at once, it's not gonna work ever again. So if your funnel doesn't have a single purpose, it's a dead weight. And every extra distraction is a lost revenue. And I truly mean it, okay? A funnel is not a business card. Very important. It's a money machine, okay? So you pick one goal, book high ticket calls, sell low ticket offer, or build trust long term, okay? And if your funnel tries to do all 3, it does none. most of the time. Okay, so if you take a look, if you're selling high ticket, you're usually going for appointments or selling on Stripe right away, right? This is what we've done with the coach or with the swimming instructor, sorry. Okay, so it looks something like this. You usually have some VSL and then you have like a Calendly or something like that. You're booking appointments through that. But if you're selling, for example, like super high ticket stuff, you can also sell it on the website itself. It doesn't really matter, but always have just one goal in mind. Okay, sales and purchases are usual for low ticket, not that usual for high ticket, but that doesn't really matter, honestly, because what matters is that you actually fulfill this, right? It's very, very crucial. Okay, so that's that. And building of trust long term, this is usually done when you are trying to give free value, right? And you are nurturing leads somewhere, right? So Alex Hormozi does this very well. He essentially like gives free courses and stuff like that, right? And then when you scale to 3 million plus per year, you can become his client. Very smart. Okay, so that was the first thing. Okay, second thing is clear next steps. Okay, and I know these things look super easy to you, but the funny thing is that simple scales, fancy fails every single time. Okay, so clear next steps. Let's call this clarity, okay, for the clarity's sake. So confused prospects don't buy. If somebody lands on your page and has to think about what to do next, you already lost them. Okay, so that's why you must make the path literally idiot proof. And I'm talking like for an complete idiot. I don't want to be rude to your niche or anything, but you need to make it that simple for them. Okay, so step 1, step 2, step 3. And the more obvious the journey, the higher your call booking. So ambiguity equals abundant leads, clarity equals cash. This is a bad example, right? You can see that you don't really know what to do next. Obviously, you can have some like schedule button here, but your eyes naturally rest on the big headline here, on these texts, and then on this, which you don't want. Okay, this is a good example. Charlie Morgan, you might know him on YouTube, and this guy's making like 1 million per month with this funnel, right? You can see step 1, step 2, simple steps. Okay, simple scales, fancy fails, as I said, and it comes down to direct response copywriting, David Ogilvy, and people that you can actually learn from. Okay, third of all, singular CTA, super crucial. Okay, I was talking about this earlier on, and you know how much I basically glaze this stuff, right? So one page, one action, one outcome. If you scatter multiple buttons, book a call, join a group, download a PDF, you're bleeding money, and I'm being serious, okay? So prospects, brains short circuit with choice overload, and they bounce every single time. So funnels that convert have one Polaris CTA. Everything else is noise, okay? So bad examples is Linktree or something like that. Do not freaking use this. This is horrible for conversions, okay? Horrible, okay? Good example is, for example, Gym Launch, right? They have just one CTA. They actually have 2. They have like community and this, but they can freaking afford it. They're making like, I don't know, 5 to 10 million per month. I have no clue. A lot of money. So fourth of all, this is very crucial, and now I need you to really pay attention, because this is the basically mistake that most funnels have. Simplicity. Okay, if you don't have simplicity, you're gonna bleed money. Friction kills conversion, okay? And the longer it takes to understand what you do, the more money you lose. And if your funnel reads like an essay, they are gone, okay? So if it takes more than 3 seconds to get it, okay, to literally get it, they're gone. Every paragraph, every click, every messy layout basically is a conversion leak. And the easier you make it to book, the faster your funnel prints money, okay? So this is where something called the 3-second rule comes into play. If you've done websites or anything related to websites, you know what I'm talking about here. The 3 seconds rule states that you have 3 seconds to hook somebody's attention, to give them 5 things, okay? To give them who you are, who you help, who you helped, how you can help them, and basically how can they become your clients, okay? These 5 things. If you can do all of these 5 things in the first 3 seconds, you rock, okay? There are just some examples, but they are not that good, honestly, so I'm just gonna skip them. Or actually, you know what? No. Okay, here you can see who she is, right? But what she does and stuff like that, you cannot see here. You cannot see testimonials, nothing like that. Michael Serva, on the other hand, has his name, has his face here, has the learn more here. Very simple promise, companies that he worked with, and yeah, that's essentially all you need. Okay, so just very pay attention to the 3-second rule. It kills conversion like crazy. Fifth of all, layer of trust, right? So you need to understand that nobody books calls with strangers. They book with proof and with people. Okay, so proof sells, and period. Okay, that's going to be the rule every single time. Every testimonial, every case study, every screenshot is a gasoline on your conversion. So no proof equals no trust equals no money. So stack video testimonials, case studies, reviews, success interviews, and make it impossible to doubt you. Okay, for example, this is a case study, right? This is how I made $30,000 in 24 hours for a swimming instructor. That's a pretty big case study, okay? And it's good because people now like see that I'm a human being with results, which is crucial, okay? So stack video testimonials, case studies, success interviews, and reviews in this order, okay? Video testimonials are the king, case studies are the second best, success interviews are basically the third best, and reviews are, or actually success interviews are at the top with the video testimonials, if I'm being honest. Okay, so that's the 5 steps. 6th step is the follow-up system, and basically 90% of conversions happen in the follow-up. But I'm not going to give you our follow-ups, obviously, but just understand that we have 3, okay? We have basically follow-ups for engaged prospects, so people that opt in, okay? We have follow-ups for abandoned purchase or basically abandoned cart, and we have third follow-up, and that is high website engagement. So that's how much time they spend and repeat visits. You can get all of this data with basically Metapixel and stuff like that, and Google Analytics and more complex tracking. Okay, so this is the funnel conversion formula. If you need to replay this section, go ahead and replay it because it's going to be important. And now I'm going to give you even bigger gem than this. Let's take a look at the FMF framework that I was talking about. And it's flow, monetize, friction, feedback. Okay, repeat. This cycle or this framework is very good because it teaches you that you shouldn't be adding friction before you have flow. Okay, and most people do this. Okay, Jacob already had big audience, so he had big flow, right? He just needed to monetize and that and friction, right? Nothing else. So when he was basically working with his leads, we stored them in a group, school group, and also WhatsApp group, and we were basically using something called the tease, whisper, tease, shout framework that is basically used when you're announcing some stuff, right? So we just said, look guys, like 2 weeks prior to the launch, we said, look guys, okay, this is going to be happening, just tell your friends, whatever. And then we send it like another one a week after, and then we sent another one 5 days after, and then we sent like one announcement every like, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour. That's like basically what I'm trying to say with whispers, tease, shout. We first whispered, then we teased, and then we shouted like crazy. Okay, this is what Hormozi does, by the way. So that was the monetize. This is the whisper, tease, shout, right? Whispers, tease, shout. And the flow you already had, as I said. So now the friction. What did we do in terms of the friction? We added scarcity. Okay, there was only limited seats available for the event itself. So it was an event, as I said, it was a retreat. You can see it here actually, instructor retreat. And yeah, essentially we used friction in terms of scarcity and urgency. Okay, because there were literally limited spaces because it was a house that has limited bedrooms, right? So we used the ethical scarcity and it worked like crazy. So we first got flow, then we monetized, and then we added friction afterwards. And we started adding more and more scarcity because there were less and less rooms, right? And then we listened to feedback from the group itself, like, hey, I just bought this, but there was this problem on the website, or hey, I just bought this and there was this thing in the offer that I didn't understand. We used the feedback and then we basically sold out in 24 hours. That's how powerful it was. Okay, so the FMF framework is super crucial. Don't underestimate these simple tactics, okay? I beg you, just don't do it, okay? It's very crucial that you don't do it. When you combine a warm audience, aka the flow, with a high conversion page, monetize, right? And a reason to buy now, the friction, you get fuck tons of money. Okay, and that's great. So yeah, that was essentially how we got $30,000 in 24 hours, okay? It's not that hard. And look, these systems, they actually work, but only if you build them. And I'm currently putting something huge together, okay? It's called Funnel Hub, and it's going to be a free community for entrepreneurs and consultants, coaches, etc. So in there, I will be sharing the exact templates, resources, and stuff that I use for my paying clients. If you want to be the one that knows when this thing goes live, first of all, subscribe, and second of all, sign up for a waiting list down below this video. I'm not going to be taking everyone, so make sure to get your name in there. I'm going to see you on the next one, and take care. Bye-bye.